dogs got the hacks. Together we forge the ultimate attack. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Join this epic, thrilling vibe. In Lilith's sanctuary we'll stand tall. Fight for survival, hear our call. Soul lights glow in the dark, fingers dance like magic, igniting the spark. Rhythms of battle, echoes in sync, defying the odds with every blink. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Join this epic, thrilling vibe. In Lilith's sanctuary we'll stand tall. Fight for survival, hear our call. Pixelated dreams crafted with skill. In the heat of the game we feel the thrill. Bard in gaming, dog legendary do. Conquering worlds like no one ever knew. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Join this epic, thrilling vibe. In Lilith's sanctuary we'll stand tall. Fight for survival, hear our call. Neighbors of gaming, house 24 unite. Press start, ready to battle. We'll give it our might. Bard with his tunes, gaming dogs got the hacks. Together we forge the ultimate attack. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Join this epic, thrilling vibe. In Lilith's sanctuary we'll stand tall. Fight for survival, hear our call. Soul lights glow in the dark, fingers dance like magic, igniting the spark. Rhythms of battle, echoes in sync, defying the odds with every blink. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Join this epic, thrilling vibe. In Lilith's sanctuary we'll stand tall. Fight for survival, hear our call. Pixelated dreams crafted with skill. In the heat of the game we feel the thrill. Bard in gaming, dog legendary do. Conquering worlds like no one ever knew. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Join this epic, thrilling vibe. In Lilith's sanctuary we'll stand tall. Fight for survival, hear our call. Neighbors of gaming, house 24 unite. Press start, ready to battle. We'll give it our might. Bard with his tunes, gaming dogs got the hacks. Together we forge the ultimate attack. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Join this epic, thrilling vibe. In Lilith's sanctuary we'll stand tall. Fight for survival, hear our call. Soul lights glow in the dark, fingers dance like magic, igniting the spark. Rhythms of battle, echoes in sync, defying the odds with every blink. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Join this epic, thrilling vibe. In Lilith's sanctuary we'll stand tall. Fight for survival, hear our call. Pixelated dreams crafted with skill. In the heat of the game spark. Rhythms of battle, echoes in sync, defying the odds with every blink. Like, follow, cheer, subscribe, join this epic, thrilling vibe. In the sanctuary we'll stand tall, fight for survival, hear our call. Pixelated dreams crafted with skill. In the heat of the game we feel the thrill. Bard in gaming, dog legendary do, conquering worlds like no one ever knew. Look, follow, cheer, subscribe, join this epic, thrilling vibe. In Lilith's sanctuary we'll stand tall, fight for survival, hear our call. Neighbors of gaming, house 24 unite. Press start, ready to battle. We'll give it our might. Bard with his tunes, gaming dogs got the hacks. Together we forge the ultimate attack. Look, follow, cheer, subscribe, join this epic, thrilling vibe. In Lilith's sanctuary we'll stand tall, fight for survival, hear our call. Soul lights glow in the dark, fingers dance like magic, igniting the spark. Rhythms of battle, echoes in sync, defying the odds with every blink. Look, follow, cheer, subscribe, join this epic, thrilling vibe. In Lilith's sanctuary we'll stand tall, fight for survival, hear our call. Pixelated dreams crafted with skill. In the heat of the game we feel the thrill. Bard in gaming, dog legendary do, conquering worlds like no one ever knew. Look, follow, cheer, subscribe, join this epic, thrilling vibe. In Lilith's sanctuary we'll stand tall, fight for survival, hear our call. Neighbors of gaming,
Tell mics.
house 24 unite.
No, it is.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Try
for
it
a walk
again.
again. Okay. So just in case I got to go out here and get some extra parts, because I mean I got lots of extra gear, thermal paste, whatever. No doubt I got every part we're going to need for this build out here. So this is about as far as I'll need to go if I have to come out here. So I'm just curious how good the mic is working. Okay. Wow, that's loud. Alrighty.
So one thing that I'm wondering is the two of our mics shouldn't be echoing. So chat, if you'd be able to give us a little bit of a hand here. We have a big echo. We did just fix, I thought that I was hearing ourselves within the my own headset there. So I turned off the headset and I was monitoring it on the tablet. So we'll see how this goes, and it shouldn't matter.
Oh, we got to tweak it or move to our backup mic. We will.
Yeah.
Are we going to go ahead and get started or what?
I mean, two guys over 6 feet tall. This tower looks massive. Yeah, let's get started, and we can do little adjustments between now and then. But yeah, chat, if you wouldn't mind giving us some feedback, just with the mics as we're going along, and we'll see what we can do. So without further ado, we'll let Nature Boy start it off here. I know what we're here for.
I know Bard needs no introduction, but I'm Nature Boy. I've been building PCs now for over 30 years. I love building gaming PCs. The worst thing about building gaming PCs is you only get to build one for yourself once in a while, so this is an opportunity for me to do it for someone else. And we've decided we're going to do it for a fundraiser for a local charity. Face Haven is a no-kill animal shelter here locally. They're not part of a bigger organization. They're local, and they just got a new building. They need lots and lots of stuff to keep their animals fed and taken care of. So this is our little way of taking part in that. So for anybody who's curious, we will be selling tickets as soon as they're ready. We're working on the ready part of it right now. And we will be giving it away on the 7th of June, 7th of June at the Oddball Expo here in Lab City. So what we're going to do for you today now is we're going to tear open all these boxes and we're going to build a PC. Anything else to add?
No. You're going to see some excitement of me first time. I've never seen this kind of stuff, so there's going to be a bit of enthusiasm with this. So yeah.
All right,
let's rip into it, guys.
I'll take on the role of instructor here and have him do most of it. Okay, so we're going to just grab the motherboard and the internal parts and move everything else out of the way. We'll get that built first, and that's usually how I do it when I do a build. Being the two of us are so tall, we're going to have to not stand up as much as we can. All right, so we're not going to need power supply. We're not going to need this for now. And this will put off to the side.
Stream's looking great though, man.
Okay, good.
Really nice.
That's what we're going for. All right, so we're going to pop open some boxes here. First, we're going to get our motherboard open. We picked an MSI unit, and we've played with building an AM4 to keep the cost down, or an AM5. But we were hoping to give whoever wins this a platform that they can upgrade, that they can keep and use for a number of years. So we picked something that was AM5 based. So we're going to put these accessories off to the side for now. Yeah. Okay. So let's get that out of the holder. Okay.
Just check.
One time when we would do this type of work, we would wear static straps. I've just gotten into such a habit now. You see, I'm rubbing something metal before I touch this at all.
Okay, yeah.
But that's newer components are not as susceptible as older ones were. So what we'll do first is we'll get this installed. This is our SSD. We went with a one terabyte Crucial SSD. That we'll put our equipment on. So if you want to, has this one got a cover on it?
Not charging. Whatever.
Well, all right, and our motherboard box, there should be a little standoff for our,
Doesn't like it.
oh, this is it, here we are. Oh, that's neat. Right, if you want to take that out,
Sure.
I'll go ahead and get started on this.
Happy Sunday, by the way, everybody. Welcome.
And happy Mother's Day to those of you who are mothers.
Happy Mother's Day. Hi, Mom.
So a general rule of thumb when you're installing your SSD is a lot of boards these days have got two or more M.2 slots. And one of the things you want to keep in mind is the one closest to the CPU is probably going to be the fastest one. It's not always the case, but that's the general rule of thumb. So,
you know what? We're not even. These lapel mics are great. We're not even picking up any feedback. You can see on the stream, or on the. Not even getting the fan. It's nice. That's good.
I'm always a little weary of these little guys, just because a lot of M.2 mounting brackets have actual screw in them. I'll usually put all of these in too when I'm building a machine, because what happens is people put these little bags in a box, and then if they go to install a second one, they can't find it. And these are not exactly something you can just go to Home Hardware and buy. These little teeny mounts and screws are hard to come by. I even got a habit of hoarding them. If I'm taking an old machine apart, I'll actually take them and put them away. All right, so very carefully, if you want to haul that out of the case, and we're gonna use this slot right here.
Now, for all you console lovers out there, for PlayStation, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is your the same one that can be used to give yourself more storage.
For the most part, yeah. You're
So
absolutely
that's your M.2.
Yeah.
And if you ever watch some videos, that's where the little screw goes. Yeah. So
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get that in place. You're going to want to slap that in there, and then this little guy should turn and lock it in place. There we go.
oh, there's a screw there.
There is a spare screw. Well,
yeah. So the spare screw, does it go in there?
Nope.
Oh.
That would be for one of the other types. This is the latch type that I was talking about,
Okay.
the newer type.
Well, I guess the winner will receive all these boxes.
Absolutely.
So they can.
I usually take all the accessories, warranties, and manuals and put them in the motherboard box, and that way. That way, the person who gets it has got all of that. All right. Because of the type of cooler we're going to be using, maybe I should wait. Okay, I'll wait just in case. All right. Next, we're going to unbox the CPU and get that in there.
Now we want to cut that nicely with QR code. There. I'm not allowed to use the knives on this stream.
Well,
There we
that
go.
particular one might get you a violation. Just so you have a look at it.
Yes, I wasn't even thinking about that. Oh boy. That.
All right, so
Ryzen 5 we're going with here, guys.
Yeah.
Beauty.
So one cool thing is this is the stock cooler. In most cases, this is fine for what most people are going to be using. But in our case, we're building a gaming PC. The person's going to want this thing running wide out. So we're going to go with this cooler here. So let's go ahead. We're going to pop this lever up. Put this open. And very carefully, we're going to take this guy out.
This is one of the cool things of.
Now, when you're doing this, you want to be careful because they are keyed. They'll only go in one way, and if you force it in place, there's a million little pins down here that you will break. So let's see if we can figure out where it's keyed. There's a little dot on the processor. I'm thinking, see the little arrow here too? So we're going to line our arrows up. And it should drop down there snugly, which it does. See, it's in place. We're good to go. A lot of people are a little bit worried about this little plastic piece, but all you really got to do with that is shove that down over and latch this thing, and that should just. If you're ever shipping this or you take your old motherboard out, it's worth your while to put this back there because damaging those pins is a death sentence for these processors. All right, we're good to go. Processor in. And we're gonna go with our RAM next. So we'll have all this built and ready to go when we're ready to marry it with our case. Yep, sure, yeah.
So if you guys have any remembering of what our PC looks like, we love our RGB. So it's not really in our stream anymore the way we have our new setup. But
I'm going to go ahead and start opening this up.
So
I'm going to make you real nervous now in a second, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So, of course, guys, we got to have some RGB in a RAM. We had to. And our RAM, we did, what, 2 sticks of 16?
Yep. 32. 16 is like the minimum nowadays, so 32 is better. Most games don't require more than 16, but if you really want to max things out, you're going to want more RAM. Especially if you're going with a bigger video card.
A sticker there.
Yeah, we usually save the stickers and put them in the box too.
Yeah.
I'm not a sticker guy myself, but I know a lot of people love to decorate their case with those and advertise every part component that they have in there. Yeah. All right. So, Bard, you're going to do this next part.
All right.
Okay. So, just about every motherboard, your RAM has to be paired, and it has to be put into the right ones for them to be paired. And I'm going to say on this one, it does say it right here. Can you read that right there? Tell me which 2 it says to put them in. It's the 2 it's pointing to here.
Yeah. The second one and this one.
All right, so we're gonna push these back here. All right, those I don't think that no, they only need to go back. Now, so your first thing you're gonna look is very carefully. You're gonna look at the dam here in the middle and compare it to here and make sure you've got the right orientation. No, so flip it over. Now, all right, you're good to go. All right, so you're very carefully now going to put that straight down.
In the second one.
Yep. Line up your ends.
It's not correct.
Yeah, it is. No, you had it. You had it right.
Oh.
Just don't push down on it if it doesn't line up. That's all. No help there. I'll do the first one. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're doing these, you're going to want to put your end, one end in, the other end in second. Make sure that your hole here lines up good. And then you're going to feel crunch. That's the nervous part. That's the anxious part.
Yeah.
So what you should see is that this little guy here just snapped into the little groove here. So I'll leave the other one for you to do. If you want to take it off the box and put it on the...
Sure. There was more of a sound of compressing the box than there was.
But you'll know if it seats properly because you'll feel like a crunch, and a lot of people are really turned off by it. Yeah.
So that's back. So.
If that doesn't fit, you might lift up on the other end a little bit. I'll continue to unbox this because we got to sort of figure out how this goes together and what type of mount we need to use.
Yeah, so something like this, I'd like to press it down, but I'd honestly rather, with your expert feel. There, you just tell me if you think that that's versus. Okay.
Yeah, so this is the unnerving part, the crunch.
Yeah, perfect.
We're good now. So we're good. So we've got processor, we've got SSD, we've got RAM installed. So next we're going to move on to our cooler. Now these aftermarket coolers sometimes are a bit of a puzzle. If you never ever put one in, you got to sort of read the manual. So read the manual. I've seen people take apart a whole motherboard and, oh, the cooler's going to have brackets. And then when you actually go to do it, you got to put it all back together again. So this is the part that usually takes me a bit to figure out. D, E and F we're looking for. Don't forget to take that piece off.
This here?
Yeah, do it right before we're ready to go. But I used to run my own computer business here in the Lab West area, and I have actually had people bring those back. It's overheating and doesn't work right, and then what we figure out is that they just didn't take that off before they meant to do it. This is what I was saying. Figuring out which ones of these we need.
Oh, what do we have here? Golden. Ah, hey Golden. I see a Ryzen 5, a B650M. We're going air cooling, I see.
Mm-hmm.
This will be a nice little build for someone. Using 1 or 2 fans on the air cooler. I believe we're using 1 fan?
1 fan, yeah. Yeah. It's only a Ryzen 5, so it shouldn't need any more than that, really. These little clips are always a pain in the butt too.
And since we're in the spirit of fundraising here, guys, Golden Johnson does some streaming. So maybe while we're doing this, if you guys want to jump over and give Golden Johnson a follow. Lately, Golden's been playing some Witcher 3.
Okay, I'm going to get you to pull out these 4 screws now, because we don't need those plastic brackets.
Right here?
Yep.
Do you want them?
Say again? Just put them off to the side. We're not going to need them. How was Toronto, Golden? I expect you'll be 100 pounds heavier after some of the pictures I've seen. Yeah.
Oh man, that will work out fine, I guess. Those big coolers are usually better than the 120 water coolers. That was I did learn, I guess so far one little thing I learned is that Nature Boy, you were telling me that if you do the build correctly, a water cooler isn't necessarily needed because you're not going to be overclocking things, and that kind of an
Sometimes
idea,
the water cooling is overkill. Like if you want to cut down on noise and you don't want to have a load of fans in your machine, that was the reason why people did water cooling years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with that is though now, and you'll see like the case we chose has already got 7 pre-installed fans.
Yeah.
The problem with that is nowadays you're putting so many fans in there to keep the air moving anyways.
Yeah.
Right. So even on like to say a 340 mil cooler, you're putting 3 great big 120 fans on it anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah. And the cases are so big now. We've learned from I guess the Alienware cases where they're built so compact. And yeah, we've never had any issues with Alienware before, guys. We never bought an Alienware against people's advice, but we did.
You seem to be talking from experience.
A little bit, yeah.
There we go. Man, I'm having a hard time getting this in.
He says, Golden says, "Oh, it was great. I ate so much Italian food. More fail points on a water pump." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is true too. Yeah.
Yeah, totally makes sense, right? So
what am I doing wrong here? That's not screwing into anything. See, like I was just saying about reading the instructions. I probably should have read the instructions a little bit better.
Guys, give me a little feedback. I didn't realize that I still have the gaming house music playing. I'll turn it down.
Okay.
I guess it's kind of, it'd be nice to have in the background there. I'm just trying to write down to 7. Just give me some feedback, what you think there. How many cores, Mumfordian, how many cores should you have the CPU for a gaming PC?
It really depends on the game you're playing. You got to look at whether or not a game can take advantage of multiple cores, because some will only use 1 core. And if that's the type of game you play, so core counts are sort of you want to get something with the highest clock speed. But if you've got games that take advantage of multiple cores, well then you want the highest number of cores you can get with the highest clock speed. But the problem with that is if you get a processor that's got really high clock speeds, then you got to cool it. It gets hotter faster. So you gotta balance what you want, what you're going to be playing with what you can afford and what you really, because like if you see a $7,000 or $8,000 machine with a Ryzen Threadripper with 64 cores in it, that's overkill for gaming. You'll never use that whole processor. It's like that's bragging rights.
It's gonna look cool though.
I like honestly, I built one a few years ago. That one cost me $4 or $5 grand to build. Yeah. And did I ever use it for its potential?
No,
probably not. I've never maxed it out, not especially not playing a game.
Yeah.
So the idea of cores. Now, something you do have to be careful of nowadays, though, is like Intel has got E cores and process cores too. So when you see a one that's advertised as 712 cores, you need to look at it and see how many cores it has, because E cores are for doing like the little jobs, the little tasks that your computer does without you really even knowing that they're doing it. Your process cores are the ones that play the game. They're the ones that process the spreadsheet that you're using. They're the ones that do the work, right?
And what do we have in, how many cores do we have in ours here now?
I think it's 6.
Sounds right. From what thought you remember saying.
Yeah, 6-core, 12-thread processor. So, and this one, like I was saying, this one runs at 4.7 gigahertz, which will play any AAA game right now that's on the market.
Perfect.
All right.
Mokang. Wow, that's cool. How you doing? Welcome in. Nice to see you.
Make sure we've got these lined up correctly. We're not. Nope. Don't screw nothing down yet. I'm just making sure we got them in the right, mounted properly and in the right place. Good.
So where does the thermal paste come in?
All right. So that's what we're going to do next. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, so.
Because there's a TikTok video. The guy does all of the different shapes.
Oh yeah.
And then he takes from the comments of.
If you do it right, it doesn't really matter.
He pushes it down with clear glass, right?
Yeah.
And then you see it all expand.
So we're going to use Corsair. I always like Corsair thermal paste. I find it works really well. But to be honest, the difference that we're going to see in this build is really minimal. And to be honest, if you're building a machine, the stuff that comes with it, like this here thermal take cooler comes with a small tube anyways. That's usually fine. That's usually great for anything. I like the Corsair stuff myself. So as soon as I get the end off of it here, and I go 5 diamonds when I'm putting.
I was just gonna ask. Do you have
I go 5
a preferred design?
I put a little bit in the middle. Oh, that's a little bit goopy. A little bit on each of the corners like this.
Oh, it looks like I'm in the way of our corner screen there.
And so you don't want to put way too much, but you don't want to put not enough either. I actually had a customer a few years ago come in with a machine, and he had put way too much, and it actually seeped down into the socket and ruined the motherboard.
Yeah.
So this was what I was saying about making sure we remove that little tab, and that's the right time now. You don't want to put your fans on your cooler before you try to mount it because they'll be in the way for you screwing screws down. So we're going to get this in place here now. Now the trick to also is getting even pressure on your thermal paste.
A little of each.
So like when you put on a tire on your car.
Yep.
Do you go around in a circle or do you crisscross? Right.
I go with the impact top one, all the way tight, and I just keep wrapping around the whole way with the impact. And sometimes
somebody needed
bolt
some.
Off.
Yeah. Oh no!
So
a mechanic would cringe if he heard you say that.
So if you have in Milwaukee now, I guess we crank these down.
No. I actually hate the idea of using electric tools on computers because I've been the guy who's had to. So just to let me go back to that point, when you change a tire, what you're supposed to do is snug up the first one, and then you do a star. You crisscross across your tire, so you're getting an even amount of pressure on each one. So that's what we're going to do now. Now you should feel that bite. You're going to need to put a little bit of pressure down on it, and so screw it down like 5 or 6 turns, and then move across and do the other one. So you're going to do a crisscross pattern around your processor, and what that does is it pushes those arms are spring loaded, and it'll push that cooler down evenly, so you don't have it cock off to the side and push all your thermal paste off to one side of your processor. Now, I've seen people use spatulas too, like use like a plastic spatula and like even it out before they start.
Yep.
But if you're doing this the right way, it'll spread out properly anyway. So I'm really not that concerned.
So we're getting a little bit of resistance there now.
Yep. The other good thing is
bottom out.
It will bottom out.
Okay.
Yeah. You should be able to screw that right until the screw goes snug to it. Okay. And don't over tighten it. Once it stops, it stops. You want to put a little bit of a snug on it, and that's it. You're done.
Yep. Just a little snug. That one's already snug. Done.
All right. So something else you need to do when you're putting your air cooler on or your AIO or whatever you're going to be doing is when you're putting your fans on, you want to keep in mind where these are, because If I mount this way and they're on the wrong side, now I have to pull those unsightly cables across my motherboard. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to put them on the bottom like that so that I can hide them away, because they have to go this way anyways.
Yep.
Right? So the second part I hate about these types of process, these types of units, is they use these little springs. And I always have a hard time getting them to go on there. So now, how does it work on this one? Back to the instructions.
No. The iPad froze. I guess we still are streaming. Still up.
Yeah, gee, these little springs, they're always a pain in the butt. Yep. See, it even says it here in the manual. Look, crisscross.
Yep.
Now that silly spring, where does that go? What does it hook into?
Spring right there in that picture. And those holes.
Yeah. We need it to be
what
this
purpose?
way. The spring will hold this onto your cooler.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah.
Oh.
The question is, how do we get it in there?
See that book again?
Yeah. Usually they'll hook into this, see? These are different.
I did just see a picture of it.
Yeah, it's there.
Is it the other side? Yep.
How does it hook
here
into the fan is the question.
So the orientation. On pressure. So it'd be like this.
Oh, okay, I see. So they actually do. They go right in there. It'll be long enough once it goes in there. Okay, good. Want to give me the other one there? First time I came across these, I was really wary of them. That's not going to hold that in place.
You wouldn't think, would you?
Yeah, but it does. Okay, so.
And then one side, flipping the other side.
Yeah. So we're going to hold through this.
CPU fan, 3-pin.
Oh, I'm down too far.
And of course, guys, what do you think? Do we have lighting in this or what? RGB? Mumfordian, what kind of games would you be hoping to play with this build? We're pretty well hoping that everything
the specs on this one will play any AAA game. Maybe not at the highest 4K settings, but most people are not running a 4K.
So you don't have the monitor to even see it.
It's our video card that we're putting in there is an AMD
8000 series, was it?
No, it's a 65.
Oh, sorry,
an RX 65 TX. That one will play just about anything you can throw at it. Any AAA game on the market right now, this machine will play. Will it play with all the settings cranked? Most likely. Yeah. All right, well, that's that part done for now. Now we get to clean out the bench and pull that case up and get that open.
Ooh-wee.
So let's get all these extra parts moved out of our way.
So this is the RAM box here.
Yeah, we'll get that.
These screws here. Remember the extra stuff?
Yeah, those are leftovers. You're always gonna have leftovers when you buy a third-party CPU cooler, because they always make sure that you can mount them on an AMD or Intel processor.
Okay, so we're just making our pile over there for now?
We'll just make a pile over here.
Like I said, in the motherboard box.
Yep.
Once we are finished.
Clean it all up and keep all the important stuff. So if you wanna put that over on your, and guys, it is safe to pick it up by the CPU cooler. And we'll get that case up on
because
here.
I highly torqued down the screws, right?
Yep.
So.
Yep.
I'm joking. We didn't.
That bracket goes right through the motherboard, right to the other side. So. So we've got a power supply, a case.
So with the stream name and the words on the bottom, faith saving local animal shelter, anyone's new here and just joining us, that is the plan, guys. We're going to be selling a few tickets on this, and all by donation, really, and that's it. So both well, I mean, the logo for me is dog. As you guys know, we had to say goodbye to our 15 years old and 3 months, our Chloe. So she was actually, I actually adopted her. They gave her to me when she was 9 weeks old. So yeah, from not from this shelter, another location, but yeah. So shelters to me, guys, is a big thing, right? If it is an option when you are ready to get a cat or a dog, go check out your shelter first, and if it works for you or your family or both or everything, highly recommend it. Right? They need a home too, right?
All right, so guys, just a little bit about the case. We picked an Antec case. This one is a dual chamber case, which means the power supply is in a chamber, in an area, a component separate from everything else. Makes it really easy for cable management. It's got all RGB fans pre-installed, that's always a headache to get those sorted out when you're building a machine. And it's got a controller on board, which makes it so that we've only got one wire to plug into that motherboard, RGB wise. This is our power supply. We went with a 700 watt power supply, a Thermaltake. Thermaltake is a pretty good name. In the interest of not keeping the cost down, because we didn't want to make this thing too expensive. Otherwise, we would have had sell tickets at $40 or $50 a pop. We went with a mid to high end build, probably a lower on the mid than the high end. So we're
taking all this off.
Yes, peel all that out of there. So we're just going to size this up and make sure that it's got everything we need. I'm right now, what I'm doing back here, hid away behind the case, is undoing all the tie wraps and all the little pieces to get access to our cables for our motherboard, so that we can sort of plan a route. One thing you want to do always is have a good look at where everything is. I've put together whole machines in the past and then had to take them completely apart just to move one cable under a motherboard, and that doesn't make the build fun. So this is all of our motherboard cabling.
World.
Looks like spaghetti, eh?
Wow.
Yeah, we got lots of room. We got lots of room in this case to hide stuff away, so that works out. That'll work out well.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're gonna do here now is we're gonna get our case, get our power supply oriented. That should have come. Hold on now. I'm gonna need your help.
My help?
Yeah. Gonna need your help. It didn't warn us about a break at any time. Is that option turned on today?
I was just having a look. Oh yeah, it's there. Not yet though. Should have another 15 minutes or so.
Another huge mistake that people make when they're building their own computer is not knowing the difference between a fine thread screw and a rough thread screw. And there are different screws for different uses on these cases. Fine threads are usually for mounting your motherboard to your case, whereas the rough thread is usually for mounting your power supply and other components to your case. So, and they always come with lots of these little tie wraps. So. I've got about 1 billion of these. I usually try to stick with Velcro if I can do it. So I'm going to dump a bunch of these out over here so they don't go everywhere. I'm going to pick out what we need here.
Great. So the top there. So we have our USB-C. Wow, 2 USBs on the top. Our headphone on the top, a mic on the top, USB-C. What do we have here? 2 power buttons, 1 LED button. Does that turn on the RGB, I wonder?
Well, some cases have got that ability.
Wow.
The controller that comes with them doesn't have to be hooked up to your motherboard. So you can just do it with a button.
Oh, we got 2 buttons. I'll find out.
Buddy, grab your screwdriver. These are for you.
All
So
right.
those are rough thread screws. And we're just going to have a quick look at the case. Okay, so the case is vented, so we're going to want the fan facing me. So let's go ahead and get that in place. What I want you to do now is to line up the screws and do that right here.
Oh, yes. Beauty, man.
So
Beauty.
there's going to be...
Down a bit. There.
Yeah. There's always extra holes in the case for the power supply because they allow you to orient it fan out or fan in. You're always going to want it blowing air out of your case. A lot of cases have got it in the bottom and they exhaust through the bottom, which means you got to check your dust filter on a regular basis.
It does have the gap.
Yep. Yeah,
This
one is not a worry because it's sort of on the side, but you still want to check your dust. I've seen machines where you take the grill off the front and it looks like a piece of carpet. There's that much dust and dog hair or cat hair or whatever or hair, human hair.
I'm sure mine is due for a cleaning. Sure it is with the dog.
All right, so the difference between a modular power supply and a non-modular power supply is that all of these cables are permanent on a non-modular. So what you have to do is pick out what you need and figure out a cool place to tuck everything else away. So we're going to need an ATX connector for our motherboard. We're going to need a PCIe connector for our video card, and we're going to need a CPU connector for our motherboard. So these we need, and these are extra. So we may not need these. We need one of these, I think, for our RGB controller here in the bottom of the case. All right, so let's tuck all this in out of the way a little bit. We're going to knock this case down on the side now. Now, this is where I was a little concerned about us having to stand up while we do this. Now, all right, guys, so just so you're aware, we're probably not going to go crazy on cable management today. We're going to do that after the fact. We're just going to get it together and get it powered up today. So if you want to grab the motherboard.
Yep.
Oh, and don't forget, where do we lay that thing? Before we try to snap our motherboard in, and this is another mistake I've seen people make, is you need to get this plate in place. Because you cannot do it once your motherboard is mounted.
Golden's saying, nice looking case. Do you have a video card for this build, or is that too soon? No, we do have the video card.
Yep. Nope, we've got the video card. We went with an AMD RX 65 XT. So.
And he's saying, when you pull the air from the bottom, like this case, do you need to put the power supply elsewhere, or its fan will interfere with that airflow?
Well, in this case, because it's dual chamber, it's actually like up in the side of the case. So it doesn't... Let's have a quick look at this. Yeah, okay, so we're going to put this in the right way. Always be careful with these guys. It's a really great way to cut the fingers off yourself. They're very sharp, and they're hard to pop in most cases. One more. Is that out all the way? No. Yeah. There we go. Now we're good. Now, the other thing you want to do is you want to sort of mock it up and make sure that all your motherboard stands are where they need to be. We've got a mini ATX motherboard. And so we're going to look at, keep in mind your cables for your cooling need to go somewhere. Route those as you're doing it. Now we're just going to mock this up as best we can. And okay, so we're going to need a few extra standoffs. You see that? So we're going to need one there and there. And what about back here? Yeah, okay, so we need one there and there. So we need 2 more standoffs, one here, one here. So those are going to be in your case bag, your hardware bag for your case. Something else I usually suggest to people too is if you're building one with glass, take the glass off and move it if you can.
Mm.
Tempered glass breaks into little teeny weeny pieces, and it's not fun when to clean up or replace it because they're hard to get. It's almost
Speaking
cheaper.
from experience,
Not. I've never broken one on a computer case.
no.
I'm just gonna step out and grab a tool for doing those. You
Yep.
want to do a
Yeah.
little bit of talking to your folks here.
Well, I hope you guys are enjoying this. I sure am. This is pretty special, I must say. Sorry, we don't really have a shot that gets you right down in it, but
Sure.
I guess we already saw a whole bunch.
So you want to grab the camera and move it? You certainly can.
Mm-hmm. It's we can pretty well see everything. Maybe for this camera here, just slide her over a hair. There we go. So I suppose one question I have right away is, I guess, of course, you got to pair them. There wouldn't be a decrease in speed because you don't have RAM in the slots.
These newer motherboards are all dual.
Yeah.
So where you would see a decrease is if you had one 32 gig.
Yeah.
Because it takes advantage of the ability of the processor to be able to dual process your memory. So what happens is if you don't put two in there, it's only operating in single mode and it doesn't perform as well.
So just twist this flat, I guess, or
well, that's going to be hit away under the motherboard anyways. All right, so now we've got our stands put in place. Let's
okay, drop her in.
We'll feed our wires down through here, and we'll go ahead and mock that up again. Yeah. So don't slide.
No.
Put the end in and then lay it down.
So
what you want to do is you want to put the end in like this.
Yeah.
The other thing is you see how there's like little metal fins on that?
Yep.
And they have a purpose. They keep the board grounded. You don't want to buckle those up in one of the holes or poke them into a HDMI.
Yep. It looks like they could come a little bit more.
Yeah, when we actually mount the motherboard, it'll push those in place.
There you go.
All right.
Perfect fit.
All right, now I need to get the screw into that quick. You got a screwdriver there handy?
Yep.
So guys, when you're mounting your motherboard, this is a little tip that I picked up because I've seen it happen. You want to start with the middle holes and screw those in first, and then move to the outside holes. And the reason being, if you screw the outside ones and your motherboard is buckled, what will happen is you'll actually crease your motherboard because the board is like this. If you do the two outside ones, the board is like this, and then you put the middle screws in and it pushes them down and makes your motherboard break. Yeah. So, do you want to get some of the rest of those in?
Sure.
So we're going to start in the middle here. The other thing is if it's not going in right, don't force it in.
Nope.
These are only fine thread screws, and they will strip. Let me put that one in the right place. That one's in the right place. What about that one? Can you tell if there's a screw down behind that, or if there's a? Doesn't look like it, does it?
Yeah, there is. Way down there. Oh, not the riser though. No.
No. Okay. Let's pop that back out there. We got something done wrong here. Oh, come here, you. Either we put that in the wrong hole for like maybe an ITX motherboard instead of a micro ATX. Let's double check that. What we got done wrong there? Oh no, it's there.
Okay.
No, it's not. See that?
We're looking at that one.
Right. So let's pop that back out.
Oh, can't do it by hand.
while you mock it up, and you don't do the whole thing. I do it with my handle.
Perfect example of having the right tool for the job.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's try that again. So remember, watch out for those little tabs in the back plate.
Yes, that's pretty
good. You get your holes lined up.
Yeah. So watching up for the tabs, how could it go wrong?
The tab,
because you push
they're sort of spring loaded, and if you push one in and it goes into one of the ports,
right,
it could actually contact some of the connections in the port and cause damage to the motherboard.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be careful of that. You don't want to be. Well, the other thing is it'll make that port inaccessible too, so you won't be able to use whatever port you shove that down into.
So we're a little off, like.
Well, keeping in mind that that's spring loaded, so you may need to press on it a little bit to get the first one in. I'll see if I can get that first one to go.
Oh, I know what you mean now. Spring loaded. Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
There we go. Get that first one in. That doesn't go there.
So that's what you're saying. If there is a curve, you start in the middle, work your way out.
Yep, you start in the middle, and that way it'll flatten out as you're putting your screws in, as opposed to if you start on the ends and it's pushed up like that. When you tighten down the ones in the middle, you're putting strain on that motherboard, and I've seen them break.
Yeah,
it's not fun. And then you gotta have to tell a customer that your $200 or $300 motherboard is no longer alive.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry, doesn't cut it on that one.
Well, the problem is usually it's an inexperienced installer that's on it, and they don't know the difference. So, okay. All right, so we're gonna get the rest of these done now. I'm gonna hand you some screws, and you're gonna put them in.
Yep.
Right, and they only need to go a little bit better than finger tight. You don't have to crank down on them.
Yep.
And just make sure that they're fine thread. And like I said before,
so there's no more middle now, right?
No more middle. No, you move.
You did that one middle.
You move from the middle out to the outwards part of the motherboard, and you're good to go.
So see that screw there? It's kind of off a little bit, but I guess it's small enough that.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. That'll straighten itself out. You shouldn't have to force it, but that'll straighten itself out as you're screwing it down.
My fingers are too big. Oh, is that magnetic?
It is.
Okay, perfect.
Get it up straight, or you're just gonna go cross.
So we are not going until we hear a crack. Correct.
No cracks. Ian is asking us if we can tilt the computer towards the camera to see
the build
for a few seconds.
Yeah,
sure we can. Yeah, actually, just turn it that way at the over there. Actually, what I'll do, this is what I'll do.
Slide it over.
No, stay right there.
Bring that camera over it, I guess. Okay, there we go. Perfect.
Yeah, how's that?
There's a little delay on the stream, but then thank you, Mum40, for saying what you'd like to see there, guy. Yeah.
So we went with a mostly black theme with this, because of course Bard's machine is all white.
That was hard to say, but yeah. Thought that'd be cool though to see.
How are we doing? Okay. cool. More screws here for you. There's a longer screwdriver there too if you wanted that. Wherever it went.
It is working.
Not too bad. This case is really good to work on actually because
Yes,
a lot of times when you're doing these types of builds, the motherboard is always up to at the top edge of the case, and getting the ones in on this side are terrible. You got to do some crazy acrobatics just to get your hands in there.
Yeah.
Or try to do it from the back of the case somehow.
And maybe those are the cases that does not have that dual chamber for the power
dual
supply.
chamber, the dual chamber are good like that. Now, another thing is too, the manufacturers are really now starting to build cases with AIOs in mind, so they leave lots of room in the top in order to accommodate the radiator and the fans.
Yeah. So I think we're done now.
Yep.
I don't think I missed any.
All right. We'll
There's
check your
1,
work
2,
here.
3.
No, we're good. No, looks good. All right, now we get to do the fun part. We get to route some cables. So I tell you what we'll do is I'll move the case this way a little bit.
Golden's saying, yeah, top down, baby.
So I'm going to route some of these cables up to you.
Okay.
There we go.
You got that in
This one's
the way.
going to come out here. Yeah, we're going to route that one so that it looks good there. I got it here. Yeah, you almost need to plan how you're routing your cables too, because if you turn them the wrong way, you're going to have a big ugly cable in the middle of your machine. Get in there. Ah, here we go. Snap. Hear that nice click that time? That's our main motherboard power we've got put in there now. We're going to go for CPU next, which is up here in the corner. We'll do the same with that one. We're going to put them through and then bend them at a hard 90 and get them in there. And that way it'll stay way up out of the way. It won't be an ugly cable hanging out where you don't want to see it. Now these guys here.
What cable was that?
That was your CPU power, your main CPU power.
Okay.
All right. So what we're going to hook up next is going to be our. Let's see which one comes up through first. You. Okay. This one is our RGB.
So we have a stretch break coming up in 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Okay. Let's get this fan. Let's get this fan plugged in, and then we'll go to our stretch break.
And then, guys, also, as I usually say, if you're a Twitch Turbo member, that's wonderful. If you're a subscriber or Amazon Prime subscriber, thank you very much. You, as far as I believe, that's the perks of it. No ads.
Right. So we got that cable pulled back through. This cable pulled back through. The other one is going to go to the RGB controller on the back of the board. All right, we're good. This part is done. Now let's get the remaining. Get the buttons on the front hooked up. Now we're good for power.
Now, how did you balance this? Oh boy. Okay, not bad. Use the door to help.
The little box is how I balanced it actually.
Yeah, good. Golden says, looks like you have enough room to side mount the video card if you wanted to as well.
It does. It's got the hole there for it. I think it's an optional bracket that you got to buy though. So now, all right. So I'm gonna hand this through.
Man,
here.
that looks beautiful. Look at the fans. Woo. Okay, what?
I'm gonna hand this through down here. There's an audio connector there somewhere that has to go to on the motherboard.
Okay.
Is it poking through?
Yes,
you got it?
Yes,
okay,
I have it.
Good. So just pull through for now.
Yep.
All right. So this guy is gonna go through. I think about right here. There should be a big black connector on the motherboard.
Mm-hmm. Bottom right.
Does it
Yep.
match with that? I think that one is a.
Yep, you're there.
Okay, and then there's also a small metal looking one. Andrew, or yeah, so
Small metal.
like it looks like that would plug into. Is that about
I
mid
don't know where the
motherboard?
one is that you just sent through. I don't know if there's a cover.
Okay, no, that's not
But
covered.
the metal is there though.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll get it to the front a little bit.
Unless, this goes in the side.
It
I was
does,
thinking
yeah.
it goes on the.
Yeah, it plugs right in that
Yep.
way.
Yep.
Okay, so let's get this guy plugged in. Now you need to be careful with these. You don't want to force them. They should fit. They shouldn't. You shouldn't have to push hard on it.
Yeah.
It's the same feeling as the RAM though. Once it goes in there, it crunches a little bit. You're good to go. Okay, that one is done. Okay, these are keyed. You see the little nub there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So see the little hole there? So those
Yep.
are keyed. You can't put them in wrong. And if you really force it in wrong, you're going to break the pins.
Can't put it in wrong because the key won't let you.
Yep. In my case, it's just bad eyesight. Did you want to try that?
Yeah, sure.
Just don't force it.
I do have my glasses on
Yep.
today, so
Yep.
maybe. It's all black. I bet you that's a problem, right? Yeah, I guess that's the nice thing with the white builds, isn't it? Anybody agree?
The
Who likes
contrast
white? Who likes black?
The contrast for me is the trouble. Is a black cable on a black motherboard with a black connector.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah. We're having a little bit of issues here too, trying to sync up the pins without. Oh, there we go.
Slipped in there. Yeah. Okay, good. Give it just a firm push. It'll bottom out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're good, I think. You felt that little crunch, did you?
Not yet.
No. Okay.
Gosh. Point of no return now, though. It doesn't just go in easy, does it?
Let me have a look. If you've got it lined up, it should be. Oh yeah, that's in there.
Okay,
You're good. You're good.
I don't think there was a chance I could have.
No.
All
right.
Squat a pin on the way in. Is that as far in as it goes?
Yep. This is far in as it goes. That's bottom all the way out now.
That's good.
All right. This one's going to be a bit tricky.
I'm talking about being nervous with these. Putting these in, huh? Hey guys. Golden says likes the all black, the white fans, and RAM look. Yeah, looks pretty slick.
All right, now I'll haul this one out through, but I think we may have to redirect it afterwards. And then there's the worst part. I don't think we got to do it on this one though. I think this one is newer motherboard. The power button and all that will just work.
Mm.
Otherwise, we're going to have to do this.
Oh yeah.
See all those little individual pins?
Yeah.
Those are not fun. All right, let's tip her down carefully. Okay. And hook up the stuff we couldn't really see very well. So this one has to go to a chassis fan, which is here, and an ARGB connector. In there. Okay. Those are keyed too. You can't put them in wrong. Okay. An ARGB connector over there, I think.
That's 4.
What?
This is 3.
Yeah, it's 3 with a blank. Oh no, that's it.
2 with a blank.
Huh?
Or yeah, a blank in the middle. 3 in total.
Now I'm going to show my age because I'm going to haul out a.
This one right here.
Say again?
That's 2 in a blank. Okay.
Nope. Okay, so our audio is here. I'll get that one done. Audio here. See, remember I was making a big deal about yours when you first built it because the cables were really exposed?
Yep.
See, this one is going to have that same, unfortunately, is going to have that same thing, but a cable lengthening kit.
Yep.
Would fix that real quick.
Yeah, that's what that is there. You're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think we gotta rearrange that cable. Cool thing about these cables quite often is they're made to be pulled apart like this. So if you have to plug them into 2 different locations on the motherboard, you just tear them apart and you can. Because that has to go all the way up here.
Okay.
Let's pull that one back through. Where is it? Here. You give that a little jiggle. And am I pulling on the right one?
Yes, you are. It'll help.
Is it split? Yeah, okay, yeah. You might need to jiggle it for me. Am I pulling on the right one right now? Is it split, right?
It's right here.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's make that a little bit longer. How are we doing in chat?
Chat's doing good. I think the chat is all taking it all in. Mick, hi Mick. No jump scares yet, Mick, or what? How you doing?
I forgot about that. I might pay for all the jump scares I've done on you now. This is going to be one of the most frustrating connectors ever, because they're raised pins like this, and then they expect you to go into these. Right?
Yeah.
So you got to hit it dead on. Like an ARGB connector is, you got to hit it dead on the first try. Oh, I think I got it too. No, I didn't.
No. Towards
they're recessed.
Way towards you more. Yeah. There you go.
No, that didn't go in there either. There we go. Now we got it. So tuck that cable back there real nice and tidy.
Figured I wouldn't hear. Well, it's okay. It's okay. You can do it. There's people that can in the stream that might
have a heart attack.
Have a heart attack. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what we're going to do next is put power to our RGB controller for all of our case fans. So we're going to have to use one of these SATA power connectors. That's a Molex, that's a Molex, that's a Molex. That's no good to me. Okay, where is it? Here we are. SATA. Okay. See how they're keyed almost like an L shape? So you can't really plug these in wrong. Now, I think we're ready for a test. No, hold on now. We gotta figure out where we're gonna plug that in. Where are we gonna plug that in?
And that is what?
That's our RGB.
That's what we just pulled out.
Nope. That's the RGB for the actual CPU fan.
Okay.
So why don't we run a test? We'll plug it in and see what we got left to do here.
Okay.
So we're gonna put power to our
power.
Yep.
Off.
Yep. Good. Alrighty. We'll turn our power supply power on. Okay, nothing exploded. Oh, okay. It's like I had guessed. We're gonna have to actually hook up these, because I'm sure I can take a screwdriver and turn it on.
So I'm power off now.
Oh, leave it there. It's good. Where was that screwdriver you were using?
To your left.
Yeah. Ooh, look at that. Everything is working.
How in the world you touching the screwdriver on that made that?
Because all of these buttons are on the top is they're momentary switches, and all they do is the same thing as touching it with a screwdriver. And I can tell that she's running because she's already starting to.
She booted up. She turned on, and she.
Yep, we got activity back here.
How nice that looks! Look at that.
Yeah.
Woo wee! Gosh. Yeah.
So, give everybody a look. This, folks, this is what you're gonna. This is what you're gonna be. This is what you're gonna be getting if you win. If you win it on tickets when we do it, we're gonna probably end the stream soon, because the only thing left to do right now is just to tidy up the cables.
Yeah.
And video card. We got to put the video card in there.
But
we'll do that before we go. But the only other thing that we got to do is the operating system, and that nobody wants to sit here and watch me click OK for 4 or 5 hours while I do that. But maybe we'll do a time lapse of it or something.
Yeah, we'll be doing some footage.
All right.
Hello, Joe Necro. Good day.
All right.
Good
So
day.
let's shut this off. Let's see if we can get the front panel cables plugged in. Okay. So that's this is what I was saying. This is always a pain in the butt.
Yep.
Because there's two ways of doing it now. The old way of doing it is these, and then there's a lot of newer cases have got like an integrated piece that does this. So how do I get my hand in there? So we want to put that in. We want that coming out through as close as we can. Did I get them all? No, I missed one. Yeah, we want those as close as we can to a hole so that you don't have an ugly cable hanging out through.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got a task for you now.
Yep.
Motherboard book. Okay. And you're looking for a map of the motherboard. Motherboard book. Oh, no motherboard book. A lot of these new ones come with
This is thick.
Okay, yeah.
Scan the QR code.
No, I think I just seen what we need. There's a map of where we need to plug those cables in on the motherboard. Where is it? No, I don't see it there. So we may actually have to go look it up. It's not documented on the motherboard either.
Shout out to MSI, download membership app. Scan QR code, quick installation guide. For detailed installation information, scan the QR code on the back of the box to refer to the user guide. Everything is QR code nowadays, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So, on the back of the box, this one, user manual.
There it is. All right.
The PC's in party mode. Hey, first time chatter.
I'm glad you joined us.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
We're doing.
How you doing? One time. Nice to join you. Usually, we play some Diablo, but today we're partnering up here and we're doing a build for, as the stream says, our animal shelter.
I'm gonna make an educated guess.
So I'm Bard. Nice to meet you. This is Nature Boy.
Nature Boy.
We're just trying to pull up the manual here. So what section do you want? If I can...
We're looking for there's usually a motherboard map that will show us where we have to plug these in and what polarity they have to be.
Switch. Okay, download.
I'm going to make an educated guess. Let's see how close I
I'd
am.
almost rather do this on the... Oh, Joe, it looks like your current PC? Oh, okay. Cool. I'd rather pull it up on this. A little bit bigger.
Uh-huh.
It's a little bit bigger for being able to see what we're reading.
Usually this is in the motherboard book, or it comes with a guide that does it, right?
Yeah, so they save money and they make you do a QR code now.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, 395 pages. So, all right, contents. What's it called again?
We're looking for a motherboard map. We're looking for a... Just scroll up. I'll recognize it as soon as we pass by it anyways.
Oh, it's 400 pages, so.
Yeah, it's usually in the first 8 or 10 pages anyways.
Okay.
Go back. That's what we're looking for right there. So power switch.
Joey said, what is the RAM on it? We're doing 2 sticks of 16, and it's down there.
I think it's 6,000 is the speed.
The RAM is T-Force Delta DDR5. 6,000. It's for there.
Power switch goes right there. Reset switch goes across. We don't have a reset switch. We do have a hard drive LED. Hard drive goes here. Power LED. All right, this is our first attempt. Let's see how we did. See how good I am at reading those. Power. No power. Oh, here we go. Power.
Was good that time.
All right, so what? The hard drive and power LEDs are plugged in backwards.
How do you know that?
Because they're in the right place, but they've got a positive and a negative, and if they're turned, it just won't work. Doesn't make any difference really, but people, you sort of want that working.
And what was it that you saw that wasn't working? I just saw lights. I just saw colors.
Huh?
I just saw colors.
Two little tiny LEDs up here.
Oh, okay.
That most people would probably not even notice.
Gotcha.
But oh, fuel sticks. Okay, I pulled the two of them off by accident.
The graphics card we're doing is a. Where is the box?
It's an AMD.
There it is.
RX 6500 XT. Okay, let's see. Now I got that right. Nope. Didn't see that again. Power LED. Plus goes that way.
What kind of video card are you running, Joe? Your setup. Small one, a 4070. Oh, okay, nice.
That's a nice card.
What do I have in mind? I have a 4060, I believe. NVIDIA is an AMD. Nice.
You want to start unboxing the GPU? That'll be the next thing. I'll grab it.
Absolutely.
I'll grab it.
Talking about the video card. Here we are, guys. Now.
Aha! Success! That's done.
Now that tool that you mentioned, that should keep off the stream there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Won't even say a word.
That's the interesting. That's the only one I have here, and it's probably the only one that would get us banned real quick. I don't have much luck getting it open though.
You want your water?
Pardon me?
Do you want your water?
Yeah, I'm good. All right. Here you are.
All right. Thank you.
While you're unboxing that, I'm going to tidy up some cables, and I'm going to get the PCIe power put up through so that we can power that beast.
You don't need this anymore now, do you?
Say again? Nope.
Don't need this.
Alrighty.
don't need the motherboard box.
Nope.
We don't need the power supply box.
You do need to haul that plate off the back, so I'll do that while you're getting rid of the box.
All that?
Nope, right here.
Oh.
So they got a plate that covers up all the slots, right? So it gives today's video cards are pretty heavy, and so it gives it a little bit of extra, heft, so that it doesn't buckle your case.
Oh man, it's like we're on Deal or No Deal here. Opening up the briefcase. Look at this. Oh, nice unboxing here, guys. Oh, we have 2 fans.
Probably could have went with a cheaper one for this build because we were trying to keep the price sort of reasonable. But you want at least a double fan GPU if you're going to be playing any serious games because it just cools a lot better. You want something also too that dumps the heat outside your case.
So, how many fans do we have in total? We have
7.
7 on
8 really.
7 on the case?
Yep.
8, 9.
Well,
if you want to count them, but yeah.
For sure, and peel all the.
Ooh.
You get to do the peel on this.
This.
Another argument too that you hear in gaming PC building groups too is that, like, if you're building an AMD machine, you should try to go with an AMD card because there are certain features that a NVIDIA card can't take advantage with an AMD processor. And same with the card. The card itself has got certain features built in. Memory bar, I think, is one of them, whereby that feature will only work if you're using an AMD processor with an AMD GPU. Usually, performance-wise, it's not a huge deal, but I mean, if you want to take advantage of everything you're paying for, and that's a good-looking card. It looks almost like industrial.
The black has that nice shine to it. Huh?
Yeah.
Really, really sharp. Okay, a little bit of plastic left here.
Okay, let's we'll mock that up and figure out how many of these we're gonna have to take out. So we're gonna have to take out this one for
2
sure.
of them, double them up. Yeah. Same as mine when I put mine in.
Yep. Most cards nowadays are dual. Rarely will you get a single slot card. I think some of the newer ones are even more. I think they're actually 3. Some of the higher end NVIDIA cards.
Take this off.
Yep. And don't touch those pins with your hands.
Nope.
Okay, the other thing you're going to want to do before you push this in is make sure this little guy here is pushed down. And it is. So I'll let you do the honors. Line it up.
Oh my.
Line up the end, and then be sure that you feel that little. Did you take off the peel on the back? On this part?
No.
Okay.
Didn't know.
Sometimes if you don't take that off on a back plate on a GPU, you'll get like a burning plastic smell. It won't catch fire or nothing, but it just doesn't smell very nice. That one's a tough one to get off. Is it actually a peel? Yeah, okay, it is. You almost had it. It goes right around, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a piece there.
Right there too. Looks like vents.
We'll be longer taking the plastic off it than we are actually putting it in the machine. All right, so mock it up and make sure we've got the right slots opened up first.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
They're there.
Line it up and snap it in place.
What side first?
So you're gonna want to sort of put this down, the end down first. There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. And then guide it into place. You don't push it. Don't push it.
No.
Because the feet need to go down behind the motherboard. Okay. Give it that nice push. You'll feel that little crunch I was talking about. Yeah. There you go.
There.
Yeah. Here, you can do the honors.
All right.
Right
Oh
here.
yes, down top.
Yep. Folks, when you're installing a GPU, especially a big heavy one like this, if it has the ability to be screwed in by 2 screws, you want to do that. I've actually seen it where a GPU flaps and vibrates enough in the machine where it'll break screw off over time, especially if you plan on shipping it anywhere or moving it anywhere.
A few good points from experience.
All right. All intent and purposes, short of some cable management and installing the operating system, we've now got a PC.
Now, what's this one for?
Oh, we do have to hook that up. Yeah. Yeah.
At least it's black right away.
Yeah.
Like when,
Yeah.
we did that one. Yeah. It would all make sense to me even a bit better now, looking at mine to this one. That's cool.
Now, let's give her a last test here. Did you want to do the honors?
You do it.
Oh, okay.
You do it.
Oh, she's turning on.
There you go.
Everything's lit up. Fans are spinning on the GPU.
Oh, nice RGB logo on the front of this video card.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well.
Fist bump, buddy. So.
Look at that.
And how long did that take us?
Well, the stream has been on an hour, 33 minutes. And that was with a 5-minute
right
start up and figure out what we're doing. Wow.
All right, so guys, now we got a little bit of finishing work to do, obviously. We've got to do.
Should we dare turn it around, look at the cable management?
Well, I think probably for if Golden is still around, we can
what it looks like now.
Well, he was asking about the orientation of the power supply, so I'm going to carefully turn it around here to the camera.
There is a pretty side of the PC, and then the side.
And then there's this side, but we got a lot of cable management to do here. Yeah. So John, you were asking about whether or not there's considerations for the power supply, but the power supply is actually up here. So, we don't have to worry too much about that. Also, you had mentioned about whether or not we could mount the GPU sideways. There is a punch out for that. I did look it up. It is an extra part. You got to pay for extra from Antec. But that's pretty much it, guys. We've got her built. We just got some finishing work to do now with this cable management. Got to get it all cleaned up and toddied up. Give the glass a little clean and get the operating system put on her. And again, we're not going to sit here and do that. That takes 3 or 4 hours of sitting here clicking. I don't know if I can hold a conversation with this guy that long. And it's Mother's Day. So some of us got obligations for supper.
So guys, happy Mother's Day from Gaming House. Thank you, Nature Boy.
No worries, buddy. Now, let's send it off with folks. We're going to be selling tickets on this thing. We're going to be drawing for it at the Oddball Expo here in the Lab West area on June the 7th. It's a Saturday. It's Lab West's version of Comic-Con. There's going to be vendors there selling Comic-Con related stuff. There's going to be cosplayers. There's going to be streamers. I know there's going to be some comic book artists there this year. So keep an eye out for that. They picked a bigger venue this year as well. And for anybody who was wary of taking their kids to the brewery for something like that, it's in the Curling Club, I believe, this
Curling
year.
Club, yeah.
Yeah. So we have a lot more room for a lot more people and a lot more fun. So when we'll be certainly advertising The tickets locally, when they're available, that should be any day now. So
We'll make a video or two.
most certainly, we'll have lots of fun with it.
Yeah.
Anybody who's ever been on my TikTok and in the middle of a fundraiser knows that I'm a foolish guy, and I'll do a lot of things for a little bit of fun.
Yeah, there we are.
Right on.
Beautiful. Well,
All right,
thanks
folks.
guys for viewing. A little different, but this was a fun experience. So thank you,
No
Nature
worries.
Boy.
Hey, I'm glad it was a fun afternoon.
All right.
So,
Well, take care, guys, everybody.
Okay.
And we'll see you on the next stream.